You can start over.
All right, welcome back to another episode of the Pin High Podcast, presented by Pin High Media. Fifth major week, but first we got to talk about an actual major, the U.S. Open, and we'll get into our home event, the Travelers Championship. So let's get into it.
This is Jordan Spieth here, and
This is the Pin High Podcast.
All right, let's get inside the ropes. Start the week. It's weird. I am way more excited to talk about the Travelers Championship than I am to talk about like just the U.S. Open that just happened. And I don't know whether that's like
It's kind of a. It
yeah.
wasn't like it's left a sour taste in our mouths. I feel like all of our mouths, just the fans, the atmosphere, the winner.
The
Even
winning
just like
score.
well, yeah, like it was like the course was like I would say I like the course, and I know
The
it's
same
like the
winning
best
score
golf course.
as Oak Hill.
Yeah, but I don't
Yeah,
know. I still
but
like the
it's
fact that
still
it
just
played so
like
easy on day one. I guess.
yeah, I think it's just the day one that kind of like set the tone, and then but it did get like harder as the week went on. Like the weekend
Yeah.
of like the however many guys were in the final few groups, like Wyndham was the only like Rory and Wyndham shot even. That was like the two best. But
I have something I kind of want to say though. Is like, do you think if you didn't have social media, you would still have that take? Because I feel like there was just all around negative feedback on social media that like people were just formed their opinions because other people thought that. I don't know.
I mean, maybe.
what I personally like I thought the golf course was really fun and like cool. But like even like the shot on 18, I thought like oh my god it's gonna be in the rough, like he's gonna have no chance, and it's like that's like that just kind of stinks, like that the fairway is that wide.
Yeah.
But
And I
it,
guess like the way I think of it is I was talking about how I loved the RBC Canadian Open at where was that last week? Royal Oakdale
I
or
can't even
something.
tell you.
Yeah, I think that sounds about right. But yeah,
Yeah, so like and I loved watching it, loved the course, a great tournament. And then this week like it's kind of like the same thing, but that kind of says what it needs to say about the US Open. It's just kind of like I like it for like I would have liked it if it was a tour event a lot, but I think for a major, like you said, it just kind of like left a sour taste in your mouth. Like I wasn't quite satisfied with like Jeek said, like on the 18th hole, how you can just miss that far right and
I
it's
mean
just
that is
fine.
crazy. He hit a massive slice on 18, and he was still in the fairway. Like the shot tracer even looked like, wow, that might be out of bounds. Nope, he's just in the fairway.
It looked like Patty Loopy slice. That's
Yeah.
what it was. Like
It did.
it's and like just cut across the entire fairway. And I think I think for me this the thing that leaves the most sour taste is like just the crowds and like the atmosphere and like the ticket situation, which was like you couldn't even get back to 13 green, which on Saturday Wyndham and Ricky both made bombs with putts, and like there was like
Right.
no reaction at all. Like that kind of ruins a lot of the tournament in my mind, because like, you
In a
can't even
way,
like at 15 you couldn't the people near the green couldn't even see where the ball was landing. And even that hole wasn't as fun as we thought it was going to be. Like I feel like the
yeah.
front right pin was like just like nothing. Like everyone was making birdie. Um, and it wasn't as fiery. Like we wanted to be firier, if that's even a word. But like
Sure.
it wasn't that windy, so it just kind of just didn't get that as difficult as we would have wanted. So
Yeah, in a way, it kind of felt like a live event as far as the crowd is concerned. Like, just there wasn't a whole lot of people
honestly,
looking
yeah,
around. Like, you can see on some of the holes, and they like pan out to like the blimp view, and there's just like no one there. They tried to make a little bit of an
it didn't
atmosphere in
feel special.
18 by bringing in the ropes, but like other than that, like I don't know, there
And
wasn't a whole
then
lot going on.
they said like I think it might have been Zinger, but he on the broadcast said like, oh, and all of at Los Angeles surrounds 18 green. I'm like, well,
Oh yeah,
I don't know
1,000
about
people
that.
that are at this tournament surrounding the 18th
Yeah,
hole.
And
I
when
mean,
like
yeah,
when Wyndham like broke free of like, all the hugs and stuff that he gave and he was like going around to
Yeah.
like look at all the crowd and go like this. I was just like, I mean, like it's not nobody's even really cheering. Like
No, there's the
Yeah.
like, and that's like if it was a Rory, I feel like that'd be different. A Rory or Ricky, that'd be different too. But it's there's no like I think of like the massive grandstands like you see on 18 green. Like I remember from like Chambers Bay, just a massive grandstand, and like you can like they do like the pan of like you said like he's waving to the crowd and you can see all the fans and, like there's a sea of people, but like this week it just wasn't that, which kind of sucks. I mean, that kind of ruined the whole atmosphere and the vibe of it for me, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, we should probably move on a little bit. I mean, first let's talk about Wyndham Clark. Guy has a full game. Like he could drive the ball like crazy. I mean, his approach game has gotten good this year. He may have not had that in the past, but this year it's gotten good. He is really saucy around the green with those like chip shots. He's really good
Yeah,
at those.
that was really
And
impressive.
he's an amazing putter. He has the full game right now. And yeah, he definitely deserved to win. It's just, kind of crazy that he's made this ascent and no one's really been saying his name much besides the one win at Wells Fargo. That's kind of all he had,
I mean,
right?
people have been saying his name. Like I wouldn't say like the casual golf fan would be like, where the hell did this guy come from? But like, if you looked at Twitter the week like prior, like people were throwing Wyndham Clark out there. I wouldn't say it was like crazy.
Yeah, I don't
It's a
I don't
small
remember if we
minority
mentioned him last week on the
that we are a
podcast or
part of.
not. Because I did put him in my lineup, so I was on the Wyndham Clark
I
train,
don't know if
but
we did mention
I
him, to
don't know
be
if we
honest, 'cause
mentioned
I was
him or
kind of
not.
like I was on the train of like, and obviously I was wrong, but I was like, I don't know if I'm just gonna blindly trust him to play
I think we
well.
did mention
He's
him on the
never,
podcast last week because I remember
yeah,
that take.
I think because he's never even like come close to competing in a major.
Right.
No,
Never, not
exactly.
even
So
sniff.
that's why I was a little hesitant.
But yeah, this guy has the full game, and yeah, I'm excited to see if he, comes off of this major and either goes on a little bit of a streak or if it has the opposite effect. I really don't know.
I mean, the approach play is a major ascent this year, like out of nowhere. Like, and he was like, people talk about like even like casual golf fans, like you said, he was playing in an opposite field event 6 weeks ago
Right.
at the Corrales Punta I think it was.
Mouthwash, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But like that's crazy. And then he wins. Obviously, he won at Quail Hollow, and then you won at the U.S. Open. Like I think Quail Hollow was the first time. I'm like, oh damn, this guy's like. I think we said it probably this took a major step forward, and I didn't really think anything else of it. I'm like, oh god, let's probably see his name a few more times. But he was like every time he was in a bad situation, I thought like, oh, like he's like this is it. This is where he's making a mistake. Like on 9, I thought like, oh, he's done. Like he's making a bogey. 11, I thought, oh, he's done. He's making a bogey.
Which was the part 3 where he ended up in the bunker with that really weird stance, and then the ball was on top of the shelf and came down.
Yeah, and even the announcer like thought I was just like, oh, it's gonna stay there. And I looked down, text, and I looked back up, and the ball's 5 feet from the hole.
Yeah,
and I was
like, you were like, let's go. I was like,
yeah, I literally said, let's go, and then even 17, like he missed like a left to the green, and he chipped up to like an inch. And I'm like, all right, well, and it just didn't seem. He didn't seem phased at all, which was, and I was very, very impressed by what
his bad shots usually followed up with good ones. I mean, his around the green, like little chip shots, that impressed me the most this week. Those were all really good, and he's been really good at that this year. So, yeah, I mean, it's kind of what you got to do to win a U.S. Open. You just got to kind of take your bogeys where they are and then just continue to play consistent golf and hopefully make a couple birdies and putts throughout the round.
No part of his week was lucky, I feel like.
No.
And
except for the drive on 18.
Rory, sure, but it's not really lucky because that's just the way
it is what it is. Yeah.
I mean, but when you look at Rory's week, you're like, this guy, the way he plays majors right now, and the past like basically 12 years, he's gonna like have to get lucky to win one.
Which I think it's more. I think he's more unlucky. That the fact that
what's unlucky about hitting shots to 40 feet and then not making any of them?
It wasn't yeah, he hit some to obviously hit some to 40 feet, but like having 34 and 36 putts in the final round of the Open in the past 2 years
From like 40 feet
Yeah,
on
same
all
thing.
of them.
it's not like even the putt on 8, like he's got to make that. Like he has to make that.
Par
The putt
five.
on the break on we did get a break on 14 and dropped.
Got a
And
break
then,
on 17.
yeah, he did. And then like it's still like
Tournament should have been over there.
you think at least one of 70 putts is going to is one of I don't know 18, 16, 36 of those putts, like those first putts, is going to drop at the Open or this week, and he all of a sudden he's in a playoff or he wins one.
Yeah,
of them.
so what you're saying is he has to get lucky and have a 40-foot putt drop.
Yeah, but how many times is he gonna have one of those putts before it does drop? Like I don't understand. Like it's
before he gets lucky and it drops.
I mean, I don't know if that's even the
I know
moral
what
of
you
the
mean,
story. It's more just like I feel like
he
he
hit the
plays
he
like
hit the
too
ball
defensive golf.
He hit the ball so unbelievably well, like 16 greens, and he hit 34 putts. Like that's like it's crazy. That's
Because he
crazy.
wasn't really like attacking the flag at all. Like the same thing happened at the Open. It was like just get on the green and then putt from there. Like you can't win that way. You can't win by just getting on the green and then two putting every green. It doesn't like somebody else is gonna make birdie and somebody else is gonna take control. And it's two in a row. Not two in a row, but like the two that he was contending in the most. That's what he did. He got a little defensive, didn't go at the flag. I don't know why. It just is what it is, I guess.
Well, I think I think you have to kind of do that at the U.S. Open, is just kind of play like not make bogey. And that's like what he did, but at the same time, like he didn't birdie the part. Like he didn't birdie 4 or 8. He didn't birdie 6. He didn't birdie 14. And then it just didn't But I agree. Like the shot on 18, like he had a perfect angle at the pin and just left it out to the left. Like he needs to hit. I think he's hitting the ball so well, and he just can't.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Wyndham, Rory, and Scotty all shot even par in the final round. There was scores out there earlier in the day. Yeah. Tommy Fleetwood went 7 under earlier in the day, but as the day goes on in the U.S. Open and they don't water the greens, they don't do any of that, the course just gets harder for the final group. So it's like meant for a comeback, and I'm kind of surprised that Wyndham just kind of steadied the ship and held on there to go the whole way. There was no one coming up from behind.
We can talk about Ricky too, but Scotty felt like he wasn't even, like I didn't even feel like Scotty had a the whole Sunday. I'm like he's not like I didn't feel like a threat of him at all to win, and he still shot even par, which is.
I mean, I guess that's more to how Wyndham played. He just kind of held the lead the whole time, and Scotty couldn't really get close. He couldn't make any birdies either. And then I guess going to Ricky, 5 over in the final round. I mean, he ties the U.S. Open record in round 1, him and Xander. And, Ricky looks like he's going to go all the way and take this. And then the final round just doesn't really go his way.
Predictable.
Yeah, it's something that Ricky does. I mean, I like seeing Ricky at top. I like seeing him play well. And I would have been thrilled with a Ricky Fowler major win. But, yeah, he had nothing in the final round. Just nothing.
Do you think that was it? Do you think that was the last time he'd have a chance to win?
No, I don't think so, because he's been trending in the right direction all year. Like he's been playing some of the most consistent golf on tour.
I think he could win
where
this
he could
week.
Contend again. Yeah.
But, I mean, not like win a tournament. I meant like a major.
Yeah.
I think he could contend a major.
I think the next 4 majors are majors that he like top 5 that.
They are. The next 4 are all places he's finished top 5.
Right, Liverpool.
And he has this newfound length now. Like he's not short anymore. Like he used to be short when he was, in his heyday, and now he's like actually above average length. So he has that too. It's just a new Ricky Fowler. Now. Yeah, it's a new Ricky Fowler.
Like in Wyndham, they're putters. I don't like them. They're ugly, but like they work. They feel like Ricky was draining everything until.
You should get one.
Yeah.
So I actually I saw TikTok. You could have got one of those putters for like $50 last week on eBay or wherever, Second Swing, whatever. Now they're going for like $100, or no, even more than that. They're going for $300+ on eBay now. Anyone who, Yeah, if you have one of those in your closet, you should probably sell it right now while the value's up.
No
But
one has one.
yeah, they're going for like insane prices now, just because your final group in the U.S. Open was draining pots of them. So I think that's kind of funny.
I forgot. I totally forgot that. Yeah, Liverpool was 2014, Valhalla was 2014, and Pinehurst was 2014. Like all the same year. Like that's
The year of
very
Ricky.
interesting. Yeah. So, no, I want to see him compete. I want to say I'll win a major, but I don't know if I truly believe that.
No, I mean he's more likely not to for sure.
No, of course, but it's
not out of the question. Like
he's still improving a lot, and he could get even better. He's like 12th in the data golf rankings. Like he could still jump up a good amount if he keeps playing the way he's playing and picks off a win or two. He's due for some positive win regression, I guess, at some point.
Yeah, no, he's playing better than most. I feel like.
Yeah.
Any other names that you guys want to mention from the U.S. Open?
Spieth disappointed me.
Spieth disappointing.
Max.
Yeah.
Max is really disappointing.
Very disappointing. Not much else, honestly. Bryson was all over the place.
Brooks Koepka didn't really kick it in the gear.
Was fun.
Minwoo's sick.
Minwoo is sick.
Tom Kim's sick.
Yeah. 21. Turned top 21 today.
Yeah.
Congrats.
And Scotty Scheffler 27. They celebrated their birthdays together.
Austin Eckroat's going to win soon.
Who?
Yeah, Austin Eckroat. That was a name that I mentioned last week. He had a nice final round. I think he went 5 under in the final round.
Yeah. Justin Suh just stays playing well. I feel like
I like. Did I mention last week? I don't know if I did. Maybe it was Cole.
Maybe.
Cole and Suh are the same person to me.
Patrick Rogers in his past 3 U.S. Opens has finished T31, T31, and now T32.
Oh.
I mean, how about Min Woo Lee in a top 5 in a major? I think he was T18 at the PGA as well. Like he's been playing well recently.
He was the players. He competed the players too.
Players, yeah.
He's still on conditional status. Like he wasn't even going to play this week in the elevated event until he top 10.
Yeah. Xander, I was disappointed after the first day. I hated to see that.
He was saving it for Travelers Week. He was saving it for the 3-peat.
He might be, honestly. But then he also immediately ejected after he took 3 shots to get out of the bunker on 1 on Saturday. And he's like that was it. And then every drive was left. It was like, all right, he's done. Like that.
Now that I think about it, Travelers might be worth the price it's at. Doesn't mean I'm gonna go, but like the Travelers is a stacked field this week. Like I'm excited.
Yeah, elevated event.
So stacked. Like and this tournament's always great, even without the incredibly stacked fields. Usually guys show up, but like this year it's crazy.
The ending of the Travelers is always amazing for some reason.
Yeah,
there's always just something going on 18.
That left fairway bunker, the right greenside bunker, pretty gettable if you just hit the fairway.
I guess that's a good transition over to the Travelers. I mean, you have the elevated event. It is the 5th major for us. Weird scheduling, going from LACC to an elevated event the week after on the other coast.
RBC, LACC, Travelers. That's why the U.S. Open should always be in the Northeast.
But I also kind of love the U.S. Open being primetime golf. If you're not going,
no. I love that, but also they just need to, like when the new schedule comes out, they just need to make the elevated events not the week after a major, because it feels weird that we're like, it's the Travelers and we like it, we love it, but like it feels like weird that it's everyone's playing this week, and it's like, all right,
I'm fine with it. I'm excited. Just more good golf.
I'm excited. It just feels weird to me.
Almost like they should have the elevated events right after, so people actually play right after majors.
Yeah,
majors.
It's true. It's true too.
I mean, either way, there's gonna be an event that gets screwed. Either way.
And like Harbour Town was the same thing.
Yeah, after the Masters.
Yeah.
Good field though, so I wouldn't say.
Yeah, no, it was a sick. I mean,
the RBC sponsors paid out for that one.
Is Wyndham playing this week?
Yeah.
Yeah, Wyndham's in.
And he's a great course fit.
It was almost like if
He's
he
a great
didn't
course fit anyway,
win the
though.
U.S. Open last week, he would have been a pretty good pick.
Yeah, like that honestly feels like it's kind of too like contradicting the fade him because he's won the U.S. Open, he spent all his mental energy winning that, and like he's gonna like let down, or like he's still a great course fit and like is a great player and can play around this place.
Yeah,
I
I'm
wonder
gonna
what his
stay
course
away.
history is. His course history is kind of important. Like, I wouldn't say it's like
Has he played this
massive,
event like
but
in the past? I don't know.
It is something. T35 last year, cut the year before, cut the year before that. I mean, but he's
we're
also
talking about a different player. Yeah, this guy has a perch game now.
Yeah, this is you're right. It truly is a different person, almost different player.
I mean, I don't see why not. I do see why not, because he just won a major championship and was like in New York this week at the Today Show, like at 6:00 in the morning.
It's like Blocky. It's like Michael Block 2.0.
Yeah, right.
Good.
I mean, I wonder what the stats are of guys who play the week after they win majors, like how well they do. I don't know if we can find that out, but
well, Ron didn't play well.
No,
at Heritage. That's the last one I remember clearly. But like you never see. I thought the last person you saw was like Tiger. Like you never see someone win a major and then win the next week on tour. Mostly because they don't play the next week on tour. But still, it's like no one's coming out there and lighting the world on fire the next week.
I mean, yeah. So the Travelers is weird because you have a lot of like a wide range of like types of winners at this course. It's the second shortest course on tour, only to Pebble, just because they play like the Pro-Am at Pebble. It's like under 7,000 yards. It's par 70. Basically, every approach shot comes, or every par 4 is like 400 to 450 yards. Weird course. Like Dustin Johnson's won this event. Bubba Watson won like 3 times. Jordan Spieth a couple times.
That being said,
like, it's all over the map.
Off the tee stats are like still pretty important.
Yes, off the tee is important, and just like I don't know, in general, keeping the ball in the fairway. Trevor's played this course.
Yeah, it's very. It is tight. Like you have to be in like the correct spots on all the fairways, but it's like super short and gettable. That's all really like I played great in the front 9 there and played terrible in the back, so it's just a.
What'd you do on 15?
I don't remember. I think I probably made bogey because I was just having a terrible back 9, and then I made birdie on 17, I think. But it's just a like it's kind of funky in a weird way. Like just like those last few holes were just kind of a funky finish. Even 12, I think 12 or 11's straight downhill, and 12 is the par 4. Like it's like I'm not good like looking at a course and be like, all right, you need to do this to play well. Like I can't do that, but it's just like you gotta like I feel like because like it's such a short course. Like if you're accurate, then off the tee, then you're gonna be fine. That's really a lot. Like it's like on 10 you can get blocked out by a tree, like that kind of thing.
Basically, anyone could win this week, is what we're saying. Like there's just no like distance isn't really a factor. Like it can be a factor if you use it well, but. You know, like different types of winners, and there could be some really low scores as well. I mean, I think Ben Griffin played a practice round today. Him and Andrew Novak, I think they played together. They both shot 61 in their practice round. Now that means nothing compared to the actual event, but like there's usually some low scores here.
Furyk shot 58 that one year, but like you said, like Rory plays well. Did Rory win here? Has he won here?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
But he's played well. DJ and Rory, like they played well, and like DJ's won here, but also Kevin Streelman was in the playoff with DJ that one year, and Ches Reeves won at this course. Like it's just kind of a like anyone. This is one of those weeks where I feel like everyone has.
And now it has an elevated field, so
yeah, and it's like all the best players.
How they chose this one. I don't know what made them say Travelers. Yeah,
it has the second most on the second best attendance on tour.
Yeah, people
behind
go.
Scottsdale.
Yeah, behind Scottsdale.
It's a bit like I would even take Scottsdale out just because of I feel like that's like a
That
whole
doesn't
different.
count. Yeah, they have like just a party hole. Like so.
Yeah. I think there was more people on that one hole than there was like on the golf course at LACC this week. I'm not even kidding. Like that's
Maybe.
like the stats like 18,000 on that one hole and like 18,000 at LACC on the whole weekend, or like one day on the weekend. It's crazy.
Yeah, but I mean that's why they gave it. I mean, players love playing in this event, so
Yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming they polled players on their favorite events and took that into consideration.
Yeah, definitely. So I guess we should get into who we're gonna pick this week. It is an elevated event,
Right.
so
Yeah, so I mean, Xander's a pretty obvious one. I don't know if he's going to go back to back to back, but then again, you don't really have to win for it to be a good pick. I think I'd still like Max to figure it out a little bit more before we burn him.
I kind of agree.
I want to catch.
It's hard to
you want
pick
to catch him in good form.
But like I can also see Max just like all the pressure of last week and all the eyes on him, and like he did not perform. Like maybe it was the pressure, maybe it wasn't, but like it almost is like, all right, you prep your game for this moment, and it didn't happen, but you still have he still might have the game and still might play well. And he also like around the green was really bad. Like that was the only thing that was really bad for him all week last week.
Yeah, and you got to think that's and honestly like the stat that I found to be like the least important as I looked at like guys who've played well here and like what they did well that week. It's like their around the green wasn't really even that good.
Okay,
yeah.
But he also and I also looked and he's missed the cut all 4 times he's played this event.
Max. Yeah.
Just not a good course fit for him, I guess. I don't know.
It's
a weird one.
I saw this dude on Twitter who has a pretty good model, like had him at like 4th. When was the last time Max played here, though?
2021.
I mean, his game's evolved since 2020.
Yeah, like he played 2019, 2020, 2021. Like he's basically the thing that's let him down all week. Every time he's been putting, like he's lost like almost a stroke putting every single time.
Yeah, I mean, if we're
he's a good part. Like is he?
What did he do in the weeks? Like, what did he do in the weeks leading up to the Travelers in 2021? He was, for the most part, losing strokes other than Memorial. He's been gaining strokes even last week.
Yeah, his putting I think is better. I mean, I do like Max, but I don't think personally for us we should burn him this week.
I mean, if we're talking about course horses, Harris English pops up quite a bit. He's won here.
I do like Harris this week.
He has seven top 10s at the Travelers.
Yeah, I mean,
he played well last week too. So
he had the most.
7 top.
He had the best. He gained like well over 2 strokes putting last week too.
Wow, that kind of just like jumps out right now.
I agree.
I did not think he was going to be like that good here, but
you say 7 top 10s?
7 top 10s.
It's kind of hard to ignore. I know Brian Harmon also is a course horse here, but like Harris English, that's.
I will say this is kind of a lefty course. I think Phil's won 2 or 3 times. Bubba's won 3 times.
Am I looking at the wrong thing? I see he's 1 and has a T7. That's it. 1919.
7 top 10 would be quite ridiculous.
A win. Yeah, I'm looking at the wrong thing. I'm looking at the season. 2014. 7 top 10s going into the Travelers. But he has been playing well this year. He has a win here.
I still like. I'm in on Brian Harmon. That's the guy I would pick if it was up to me.
I just don't know how I feel about picking Brian Harmon in an elevated event. That's my own.
That's
my
also
only thing.
true. Like I keep, that still doesn't hit me really at it's an elevated event.
Yeah, I mean, like Brian Harmon would be a good play if like one, I think people will pick him, so it's not even worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Two, yeah, it's Brian Harmon. Like even if he finishes top 10, it's like I don't know. Like, was that really worth it?
I mean, yeah, like we don't have this guy, but Tommy Fleetwood is trending hard. Like he probably should win soon, but and this like feels like a good course fit, but we
Do you
don't
feel the
have
same?
him.
You feel the same way with Russell Henley?
Similar. I feel like his course
Yeah,
history is also not amazing. Is
He's a
it?
He's a T6.
Uh, I thought I remember seeing a lot of cuts.
T11 T6 cut, or sorry, T11 T6 cut, T32 T19.
Oh, okay. So I
His
was
pro
wrong.
has been very, very good recently. He's accurate.
Has he been putting?
Putting well besides the PGA was not good putting, but he finished T14 last week too. The US Open. Positive strokes gained putting.
I wonder who's.
That's someone to look at.
I feel like I trust Harris English more than Russell Henley, though.
I don't blame you. I trust him more too.
Wonder who the anyone strokes gain off the tee.
I know we don't have him, but like I weirdly think, as much as I think he's kind of sucked this year, I weirdly think Cameron Young could play well this week.
I can see that too.
Yeah, so
this feels like a course where people can get right at as well. Like you can kind of like figure it out here. Like I don't know why or what that is, but like even just like maybe it's just like Bubba winning a few times, and it's like okay, like he probably didn't play great at other places.
We are running out of events, and like we have quite a few guys left that are like really good.
Who do we have left again?
Which is why I wouldn't.
We have Xander, Max Homa, Matt Fitzpatrick, Wyndham, Colin Morikawa, Hideki.
You Morikawa?
Yeah,
Morikawa.
Wouldn't mind.
How's Adam Scott been recently? He has pretty good strokes gain off the tee. Well, wasn't that good last week, but
I feel like he's kind of cooled off a little bit. Like still playing, like still making cuts. But
T9, T29, T8, T5, T31, T39.
He
He didn't play well last week.
Man,
I have it down in my head to Homa and Harris.
I'm not fully in on Max Homa.
I don't think I am either.
I feel like we got to pick him before the year ends, but don't know if this is the spot. We're running out of spots, though. Maybe.
I don't know. What do you guys? What?
Yeah, we only have power main.
Or we just pick Xander and just say.
So we have this. We have the Scotch Open elevated.
I think it is.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, that's elevated. British. And the two playoff events. Those are the ones. Okay. That means.
Do we just pick Xander this week? Like. Very
wouldn't
chalky,
hate it.
But...
I feel like also like not everybody probably has Xander left.
Yeah, I mean he was good at everything last week except for around the green, and like you said, that's not really the thing you need here.
I'm fine with Xander.
I'm fine. I'm fine with Xander, but do we think he's going to three-peat? I guess it doesn't matter.
I feel like the trends
difference.
don't really matter. It's like also
the field is like so much different this year than it has been in previous years that anything goes.
Okay.
I'm good. You know,
Xander then.
I'm good with Xander or Homa. I'm fine with either one of those.
Wonder who leads the par fours gained 450 to
500. If it makes a difference,
I think Homa game might lead that category.
Really, I can't find it.
Honestly, I think Xander. We could use Xander at the Scottish. He's won there before too.
Different course.
Kind of same. No, I think it's the same course.
They're playing at the same course this year. They usually rotate the Scottish Open.
I think it's the same course. everything I've heard, it's the same course.
Where did they play it last year?
Renaissance.
The Renaissance Club.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're playing the same thing this year, Renaissance Club.
Okay. Interesting.
I'd rather use Xander there than Max Homa probably.
I would too.
I just don't know if I want to use Max Homa this week. Not that his course history makes so much sense, but
I've kind of like
Max.
the thought that Max spent all like got his game ready for last week and then like was let down by his around the green play like makes me think like, all right, he's just gonna be fine this week. He's gonna play well. I can see him win.
His strokes gain off the tee hasn't been amazing recently, but very up and down.
Like he played well at a positional course in the Charles Schwab, finished T9.
You did.
With negative strokes gain off the tee. Very minimal negative strokes gain off the tee, but
so
I'm good. He's missed the cut all four. I don't know.
It is a tough one. I mean, like Harris English is not a bad choice either. It's just elevated event.
We could punt and say Harris and do Harris English and hope he.
I mean, I'm sure people are going to have Harris English this week for sure. I mean, just based on winning.
What if we go off the board?
You know how I feel about going off the board. It hasn't worked out for us much this year.
Is made for going off the board.
It has not worked out for us this year. I will say that.
Minwoo Lee. Thoughts?
That seems like
is he really off the board?
I don't think people are going to be picking Minwoo this week.
I don't know, coming off of a T5.
I feel like he's like the one guy like you. He's been like the spotlight, not like spotlight.
Plays well in good fields. Good off the tee. Great approach player.
I'd rather go Max over Minwoo.
I mean, maybe it's just a Webb Simpson week.
I've come full. I've come full circle on Max. I don't know why or how.
I mean, yeah. If you guys outnumber me on Max, I'm fine. But I'm not sure I fully agree. But
this is tough.
I'll hop in on Max.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's do it. That'd be pretty sick if you. I can see him winning here though too. So
I hope I'm wrong. That's all I'll say.
It's also just fun for Max Homa.
Yeah.
It'd be a great. I mean, the famous last words. I think it'd be a perfect. I feel like not many people are gonna pick Max just because of last week too.
Yeah.
And they're just gonna see like, oh, he got cut, and not look at the data and see that like, oh, it was just his around the green.
Numbers don't lie.
Yeah.
Numbers don't lie. He's a course fit.
Course fit, but he's never played well at this course. But
he's course fit, but he's never.
Well, his game is quite different. Wyndham Clark probably wasn't course fit last week either, based off his 2021 stats.
Okay. We'll let it happen.
All right, let's do it. Lock it in.
Lock it in.
I am on the Gala train this week. We'll say that. We used him already, but
that was
I'm fully on the Gala train.
If we decided to do like our winners this week, that mine was going to be Thagala.
I mean, yeah, I'll go. That's like what 70 to 1 or something. I mean, a little bit closer to the top. Pat Cantlay, Joe Acava home game.
Sure.
I'll go Brian Harmon. Been saying it all week. Don't know why.
That'd be interesting if he won an elevated event. It would make sense, but here, but.
Yeah, if he's gonna do it anywhere, it is here. But yeah.
I feel like we don't have to get inside the clubhouse because we spent a good 15 minutes talking about all of our rounds before the podcast happened, and I don't really want to go over it again.
We're gonna have a lot of golf. I think we're gonna have a lot of golf to talk about next week.
Yeah, for sure. So on that note, I say we end it. Have fun at the 5th major, and catch you next week at some probably non-elevated event, I'm assuming.
What is next week?
Yeah, what is it? It's got to be something. It's probably like Barbasol. What is it?
Rocket Mortgage.
Oh, it's actually not bad. It's actually not a bad event.
It's 4th of July weekend, so it's a weekend you can say like, I don't need to.
Yeah.
Right.